once again to go racing.
The pressure is really on now. And it's pole position.
And it's pedal to the metal, go, go, go!
Once again to go racing.
The pressure is really on now. And it's pole position.
And it's pedal to the metal, go, go, go!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to PSGL, and what a pleasure it is to be back here. Apologies for some of the little issues on stream. We managed to solve them, though, behind the scenes for you as well. And then obviously we're looking forward to a great evening's racing. Lots of certainly fun and games to be had here tonight in the third invitational race of the pre-season here at PSGL. And I'm not alone here tonight. Unfortunately, it's not Jack Kinnan, but we got someone just as good. It's Maku. Maku, welcome to the stream.
Yeah, good evening from me too. I think the people have heard me here on stream. I think I've not visited yet, but here I am. I mean, we two know us since a bit. We've done some commentary in the beginnings, and I'm really excited for this. And I mean, this grid is just incredible, and to be able to commentate on something like this is just, I don't think you get a chance in your life again like this.
No, not at all, Maku. I have to say I'm very excited as well, my friend. It's been a pleasure, obviously, to call all the racing here at PSGL, and it only gets better from this point onwards, folks. We are in for a real treat, and I tell you, a real treat for sure. Very shortly, we're going to be seeing the drivers go out in qualifying, and you can see now the grid we are talking about. Take a look at this. David Tonizza coming in for Ferrari. That's probably one of the biggest talking points that we unleashed in the past week, of course. Domenico Lavecce alongside him as well. Will certainly be joining him in that seat. Fabrizio Maurizio Donoso in Alpine, as well as Nicholas Longay joining him as well, with Tomek Paradzik in the seat alongside Barry Burremand in the McLaren. There, of course, we have the Red Bull team. That made up of Dario Yamulo. Unfortunately, he's not racing. It's Freddie Rasmussen who's going to be in that seat, with Sebastian Job in his very first Formula One race appearance in PSGL. We're looking forward to seeing how he, of course, gets on. Do apologise, actually, that is AlphaTauri, so Yamulo is racing in that seat. Lucas Blakely and Shanaka Clay, the real Aston Martin team up again. Of course, Blakely in hot form after what we saw last week. Jarno Opmeer and Danny Moreno reunited back again here at PSGL after a cracking season last year, with Alessio Di Capua and Michael Romanidis in the Williams team. Freddie Rasmussen joins up with Nicholas Matteo at Red Bull. Of course, Freddie, a very formidable character in the seat as well. Simon Weiergang bails out this time. We've got Smasher, who is coming to join Philip Prejnader at Alfa Romeo, and Chana Kinchi will line up in the Haas without Cedric Tomei. This time, it's Jake Benham, the hotshot, who's come in to join us. But we're going to be in for a real treat, aren't we, Maku? What a staunch grid that is.
This is a stack grid. This is absolutely incredible. Just the top of the ice cream, and yeah, I don't know what to say about that. And yeah, just now we're seeing the first cars actually leaving the pit lane, so we're getting ready now. See the first time. So we're in Spa. I think we haven't mentioned that yet.
No, we
We're
haven't.
racing in Spa today, and for the first time we're racing with full setups. So everyone was able to develop his own setup, and well, let's see. Here's the quickest one. Maybe some setups are more hurting the tires more, some setups are a bit quicker therefore, but we'll see in the end.
Yeah, absolutely. And here they are all out on track now. There you can see, of course, as we will bring the sound in for you folks. Of course, we've been having some fun with this lately. Here we go. We're back and alive. Here we are at Spa-Francorchamps, folks, the circuit here at Belgium. And it's a pleasure, of course, to be here on the hills of the Ardennes Forest. And as they now make their way down through Pouhon, there you can see Sebastian Job, who is actually making his first appearance, as I said previously. There at the front as well, Alessio Di Capua, who's back again in the Williams car as well. Plenty out on track, plenty to look at. Freddie Rasmussen as well, and well, certainly making his way around the circuit too, as we now watch them all hightail their way right down through this next right-hander. This, of course, being a very, very formidable old circuit here at Spa. Lots of giants have raced here, juggernauts in the past, and we're seeing loads more juggernauts in the world of esports as well. And great to see this man coming back as well, Maku. The man, the machine, Danny Moreno, back here in, well, certainly here in PSGL. It's going to be sensational.
Finally reunited with his Mercedes teammate. We've seen him last season together at the top. Just sometimes we've seen 1-2 finishes from them. Just incredible racing and incredible action, incredible amount of pace those two put on there, and of course also incredible amount of competition between those two, because your biggest rival is always basically a teammate. Barry has a big moment and invalidates his lap immediately at the end of the Camel Straight. So I think we've got some problems with traction here, and I think a lot of drivers will have that throughout the race and throughout the qualifying, especially when you're pushing so hard. Yeah, let's see who in the end puts in the fastest time. We've spoken about it. We're looking at 39. Probably, or hopefully, the whole grid. That would be really, really nice.
It certainly will be. Just look at this now. All of them hightailing around on track. We're going to rejoin now with Freddie Rasmussen as he now whittles his way around certainly the downhill left-hander of Pouhon. And the Red Bull certainly looking to grant himself wings yet again after certainly a very sobering performance last time out. But nevertheless, he is here and back in the fight. I'm sure we'll see a lot more, certainly with all these drivers, now that they have the options for setups. We'll be seeing the very best of them prior to us obviously starting the league season. But now as we witness the Red Bull now cascading down towards the next left, this of course through Blanchemont, And very shortly, we'll be coming down towards the chicane at bus stop, as now we're watching Freddie Rasmussen. Tomek Paradzic returns with an instant 139.896. No messing about from the very quick pole, as we're now seeing Freddie Rasmussen also cross the line, and he will take pole himself at 139.774. They're not messing about, Maku. Two drivers in the 139s, Tomek and Freddie. Look out.
There goes 3. Lucas Blakely, last race winner, teamed up with Shanaka Clay this week on the Aston Martins. Yeah, had his debut win last week after not league racing for ages, and now instantly in the 139s 9s as well. So still really competitive. And there we go. Donoso joins the fight up there, just 0.006 of a second behind Rasmussen. So really close racing. That's the action we want to see.
It is, certainly. Donoso's actually had, or been experiencing a recovery. This is a different Fabrizio Donoso that we've seen lately. Of course, I harked back, if you remember, when he won the British Grand Prix in our very first F1 Esports Invitational. What a race that was, folks. Remember, Donoso was the one who took Brendan Lee all the way to the end in the very, very first F1 Esports Pro Series back in 2017. And he's been out of sorts, obviously, since that. Hasn't yet recaptured that same form that we saw in that very first season. But he is back with a vengeance now. Donoso here, looking very quick, especially after the first races I just said. And in P2 now, splitting Tomek Paradzic and Freddie Rasmussen with a 139.780. And literally around about 60 thousandths of a second away from Freddie. That is absolutely spectacular by the Chilean.
Yeah, well, Jaron, of course, joins the fight up there. 4th to go in the 39s, and that's it about for the first round of qualifying. Capua also invalidated the lab. I think Chan is also out there. Still, it's basically the only one still in the hot lab. The rest one's returning to the pits. Currently trailing out into, about to enter sector 3 here. And we'll see what time he can put on the board. I say a kind of rookie, kind of not a new phase. I mean, I've seen him a lot, but not in the F1 splits. So yeah, let's see what time he can pull up and what competition he can put up to the others.
There's plenty out there, Maku. Certainly we've been seeing loads of new faces trying to come through, including this man, Chanakinchi. And I have to say, he's been very good on times. He's actually bailing into the pit lane, but still, nevertheless, he is a very formidable force. Alessio Di Capua also out on track and making his way around the circuit too. There you can see Smash, who we're riding on board with, just literally following in behind the AlphaTauri, I believe, of Sebastian Job as well, who's also out and about. Remember, we saw Joni Tormala recently as well, who's been fighting it out in certainly the pre-season races and looked very, very quick himself, and certainly came to the top end and was fighting, remember, at the start, of course, with Jarno Otmir. But look at the top end, Maku. Just look at it. We have got 5 drivers at the top end, all in the 139s, and very, very close 140s from the likes of Shanaka Clay downwards. So that's from P6 down to P14 on the cusp of 139. They are only 5/10 away of sorts, as now we're seeing Alessio Di Capua bail into the pit lane. Still plenty of drivers still to field lap time. Sebastian Job being one of them. And there you can see, certainly as we now watch the Williams bail into the pit lane, Sebastian Job still out on track, making his way out on his outlap, warming up the tyres, and I'm sure looking to get himself up into the top echelons, of course. Usually we see this man, Sebastian Job, in the Carrera Cup, certainly the Porsche Carrera Cup, representing Red Bull. So it's great to see him behind the wheels of a single-seater, Maku, and applying his trade like we know he can.
Yeah, I mean, as long as he can put more competitions with the others, it's just addition to great racing. And the more we get of that, the more we are, the more we are lucky and happy. And yeah, we're seeing the last few people finally starting also their last laps. I think Barry is just a few hundred meters away from starting his first lap. We always, of course, want to relive the fight of Barry and Otmir of last season, and let's see how that's gonna play out today, where Barry can put his car, but of course those times aren't optimized yet. That's not the maximum everyone can hit. I think that was, for most of the people, just basically a banker lap. I don't think they're really comfortable with a 140.
No, definitely not. I think they're going to be looking to get back out again. In fact, I think all of these drivers will be scrutinising their performances in their first runs in qualifying. They'll all be looking at them thinking, well, I can definitely improve. But remember as well, folks, track evolution. That, of course, will play a part. As the track warms up, of course, the drivers will be able to feel the stickiness of the compound and utilise it to get more traction in and out of the corners. That is so vital around a circuit such as Spa, where you've got such a twisting section heading into Sector 2, not to mention the latter stages of Sector 1, or heading into Sector 2, should I say, when you round out of Les Combes, heading down into Bruxelles, and then through the Jackie X corner as well, heading into Pouan. You need the grip, and that's exactly what Sebastian Job is going to be utilising here as well himself, as he makes his way around Blanchimont. He's going to be very shortly now hightailing through the bus stop chicane, and there you see the AlphaTauri in all its navy glory livery, still not yet setting a lap time. He's bailing into the pit lane, but there are plenty out on laps now, including that man who was involved in the fight in that grand finale, Barry Burraman, Maku.
Yeah, and he goes through into the final sector of this beautiful track, and basically from here on out, it's all full throttle, except of course for the bus stop chicane. That's what you have to brake for in the end. But here through Blanchimont, you're gonna take it full throttle, getting past that Williams around that left bend is really fun to drive, and then down into the braking zone of the bus stop chicane, into the second gear, left bend, right bend, left bend, that way around, and then onto the finish straight as most traction as possible. And here he goes, right behind Fabrizio Donoso, right in front of his teammate Tomek Ferrazis, and yeah, quite comfortable, a bit ahead of Jano, but I mean, the times are that close, you can't really speak of he's got a massive gap.
No, not at all. They certainly, just look at the McLaren, so they're in very good shape. And Shanaka Clay also now up into P3, breaks into the 139s himself with a 139.856. Also out and about is the Flying Dutchman, Jarno Otmir. He, of course, just commencing his fast lap as well. Tomek Paragic taking a detour across the dirt. And as he now makes his way down towards the next right-hander, Freddie Rasmussen goes quicker again with a massive 139.578. That is absolutely groundbreaking. 0.2 of a second quicker than Fabrizio Donoso Delgado. That is absolutely sensational. And the Red Bull is flying as Lucas Blakely as well into the top two. Immediately strikes on P2 with a 139.770 after that sensational victory. And of course, that last race we had in Austria, he is back yet again with yet another devastating lap chase in Austria, Spain. Well, after that fascinating win in Spain, he's come back here today at Belgium and has taken P2 with a 139.770. Tremendous lap there from Lucas Blakely.
I think this is another man on the mission. He has set himself a goal, and he wants to get out there this season. He wants to really fight the big boys.
Well, I mean, what a way to do it. But look at this, David Tanica as well. Very first appearance in PSGL, and that's a 139.834 to boot. And there we see Danny Moreno joining the party, knocks Blakely off his perch and moves his way up onto the front row. It's a sparring session, Maku. They're boxing here at the Belgian GP circuit. Jake Benham! What a scene here as the Haas makes his way into the top three. A 139.718, currently unsigned to a single esports team. He is currently now in the top 5, in 3rd place, loving life, and not far off the pole time, just under, should I say, 0.2 of a second. Incredible stuff.
This is insane. This is just insane. What we've seen here from all the drivers. We're still missing times of 3 drivers, unfortunately, though. DiCaprio, Sebastian Job, and Benham is going the short way around through the comb there. From Alessio Di Capua, Sebastian Job, and Smasher. We're still missing times, but I think they are. Well, the problem is now it's getting quite tight. Spa is a very long track, and you have to get out much earlier than usual. So I think everybody who's not soon coming into the pits may have a chance onto another run because they run out of time.
Absolutely, they do certainly run out of time. They've got to be careful, mind, because they've got to watch the clock. It's going to get very, very tight as we head down towards the bottom end. But how about that from the top three? Absolutely amazing. Fabrizio Donoso now in fourth place now, of course, with a 139.727. The Chilean still up there and fighting. I do not know what we're going to see here, Maku, but it's going to be very tight at the top. Just look at those deltas. Extraordinary. Extraordinary. The top 11, all in 139s. Credit to Chanakinchi as well. He's also got himself into the 139s. Ruben Vallejo just sitting on the bubble there, of course, in P12. Currently 140.017. And I just don't know what to say, as we're now also witnessing further down the back, of course, we got plenty of drivers still yet to set lap times. They're in the pit lane. Sebastian Job, Alessio Di Capua, and Smasher, of course, still yet to head in. Looking further down, of course, Nicolas Longue is in the bottom 10, of course, with Dario Yamulo and Domenico Levecce, who set an initial 140.292. Philip Prejnader at 145, looking to improve as well. But there's Donoso just making his way around Pouon. But what a show of quality here with just under 2 minutes remaining, folks, here at Spa-Francorchamps. It has been absolutely eye-watering, mouth-dropping, and sensational. I'm loving every minute of it. Jake Benham, though, the story so far of qualifying, the youngster has come out of nowhere and managed to nestle himself into the top three, and that is a huge statement and certainly a breath of fresh air, certainly for esports and league racing.
Yeah, that is just saying, I am here. I want to be seen. I need some audience, and I'm there to beat the top guys. I want some fight set up. I'm up for it. And now, it nearly looked like he was about to spin, but that was planned going into the pits. Yeah, I mean, with those drivers, this is extreme class. Yeah, they're so highly trained. It's basically just that ounce of luck that whether it's your day or not, that's what decides whether you get pole position. Because all of them could do a 39. That's for sure. You just need to look at the TT tables. All of them could. But the question is who can do now and who can put in the fastest time now in these last final seconds.
Yeah, I mean, this is where the nerves start picking up now, isn't it, Maku? I mean, naturally we're here now. You can see Prejnader really struggling to adjust slightly as he rounded that next left, maybe feeling a little bit tense as now he rounds Pouon. You can now see maybe it's just getting to him a little bit. Time running out, of course. I am hearing, actually, that the timer is actually wrong on our, certainly in our session. Apparently it's another 2 minutes ahead of ours, so I'm not sure what's going to happen to the clock at the end of this, but we will keep you posted, folks. We're just looking ahead, of course. Lucas Blakely out on laps now. A lot of the drivers now making their way out on their final run. Blakely now coming down towards the next right, of course, and very shortly they'll be hightailing their way down towards bus stop. I'd imagine there is a little bit of an error in terms of the timer, so of course these drivers will need to put another lap out, so it just goes to show they're on out laps now, so there must be at least a couple of minutes to play as they now make their way down through towards bus stop. Still time remains as now we watch them hightail their way down. You can see there Blakely warming up the tyres. He's only 0.3 of a second away from pole glory yet again after his incredible Spanish race, which saw him take P1 on the day. Can he do it again? That's the question. Predictions, folks, in the live chat. Who's going to take pole position heading into the Belgian Grand Prix? And I'm going to put you on the block here, Maku. Who do you think's going to take it?
The pole, were we talking about pole or were we talking about the race?
We're talking about, no, not talking about the race yet. We're all about pole position.
Alright, talking about pole position, I think Rasmussen got this in the back. I think he's put in a strong time, and I think he holds that one. He's just started on the lap, and I think he can hold this one, and he's bringing it home. He's put in such an effort, and he was dominating the whole session. I don't think anyone is really up to beating him at the moment. What's your thoughts?
Well, I mean, credit to Freddie. I mean, what a return. He is currently in P1 right now. 139.578 is absolutely sensational. Danny Moreno in P2, though, snapping at his heels. But just look at the entire grid. All of them are currently up there and fighting as we now watch David Tanitsa in his first visit to PSGL, now making his way into Sector 3. Now, this will be to try and land himself higher up this grid order with little time remaining. Last chance to dance here for the Ferrari here in qualifying as now he makes his way down through towards towards the final chicane here at bus stop. Here comes the scorching red Ferrari, the prancing horses. Barry Burman crosses the line, takes second place with a 139.631. David Tanita up to fourth place. He gets himself up there with a 139.678 though. That is far from safe, folks. Jake Benham rounding the next left. He's not yet across the line. Donoso also making his way up Kemmel Straight. Lucas Blakely there. Tomek is out of quali. He's not going to feel an improved lap time. Lucas Blakely will come across the line. P1 from Blakely, a 139.448, and that is one of the quickest we've seen so far, and that we will see here at Belgium. What a way to start here for the man from Scotland.
But Rasmussen is still there. Rasmussen comes around the bus stop now, and he's the only one who can take this one now. If he gets this one perfect lap, if he can get just 1,000 ahead, he might be actually... No, he's not improving.
It's not enough.
Thousandths of a second.
It's not enough, Baku. It's not enough. It's not enough. He is not able to strike P1. Here comes Jake Benham, looking to light it up for Haas as he now makes his way across the line. Jake Benham goes into P3. What a lap there. Unsigned, but unchained. It's Jake Benham who's up into P3, second row of the grid. What a visit there from that man in the Haas. Cedric Tomei will be proud. Here we now see Fabrizio Donoso. He's one of the last here on this track. Makes his way through bus stop. Is it going to be one last firework? No, it's not. Lucas Blakely is going to take pole position for the second race in consecutive order. Incredible stuff here from the Aston Martin. Did we see it coming? I don't think so, Maku.
This is insane. I mean, oh my god. I think that one. I mean, after this incredible performance last time, we were all like, that's insane, and we all knew he can put up a fight, but taking 2 consecutive poles in a row slowly starts to look like the Max Verstappen of this season.
Oh, it's absolutely sensational. And there's the confirmed grid order, folks. I mean, look at it right by there. Lucas Blakely in P1. Freddie Rasmussen takes P2 for Red Bull. Jake Benham P3. Barry Burman P4. Danny Moreno P5. David Tanitsa P6. Fabrizio Donoso in P7. Room Vallejo in P8. Shanaka Clay P9. Chana Kinchi in P10. Philip Prejneda in P11. Michael Romanidis in P12. Tomek Parajic in P13. Jana Watmir P14. Sebastian Job in P15. With CRG Smasher P16, Nicholas Longe P17, Yamulo 18, Leveche P19, Alessio Di Capua in P20. What a phenomenal qualifying session, folks. And Maku, we were just blown away by those times. Ridiculous around a track like Belgium.
It just dropped and dropped and dropped. Those drivers just kept improving, and I think they were like just an inch close to basically the same times they do on the TT runs, where we have the optimal tires, fuel tank, and everything. This is just incredible racing, and I think that's also due to this high competition. It's just pushing everyone to the absolute limit, to the absolute maximum that's possible on this game. And I mean, you say everyone is taking every line possible to make the fastest lap happen. If you just look at the way the drivers take the straight between No Name and Radiant, it looks weird, but it's the fastest way.
It is, absolutely. Just before we head into the formation lap, folks, some of you may have seen last year's dramatics between Jana Watmir and Barry Burman, and we're going to be telling the whole story, and we've got a little trailer just to show you, looking ahead to this Friday. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Premier Sim Gaming League, and we're going to be witnessing some incredible classic racing action. And it's pedal to the metal. Go, 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 go. Look at that, Zaluski. Prosaic. Brilliant.
But there's nothing Barry Burman can do here.
And the AlphaTauri's round. Brazina's round. Closing the door, there's Barry Burman. You don't want me to fight that spin contact, but oh my word. Oh my word.
He's got the inside for turn 4. He's done the job.
Magnificent. Magnificent. It's Yana looking at people. Wow, wow, wow. The judgment's stunning.
I've never seen that ever before in all my life.
Got a fast car like a NASCAR.
Welcome back, folks. Yes, that's our trailer for Battle the Best. That's going to be released tomorrow, of course, and you'll look forward to seeing that, and that's going to be something to really look out for. It tells a perfect story about what happened last season, of course, produced by the brilliant CC Brain from PSGL, who put the content together. It was a pleasure for me and Jack Canan to, of course, voice it. We had an incredible season in the PC Championship last season. Of course, it was between the likes of Jana Watmir, the eventual champion, alongside that man, of course, Speed Barry Burraman, who, of course, took him all the way to the final race at Brazil. But who can forget the many races we had before that grand finale, Maku, because it was a sensational season, wasn't it?
It was a sensational season. And even though in the middle of it, Barry and Jana missed some races, which, of course, in the end made up the tension. The whole point of it was that they weren't complete. There was somebody else in contention who had been racing the whole season, and this just made up tension all over the rest of the season. It was just incredible to see, and for me, of course, incredible to join into that community with just maximum racing passion. But we're now lining up for Spa, the last of our invitationals. We're seeing the drivers here.
Yeah, one quick prediction from yourself as well, Maku, for this one?
For the start of the race, I was going for Obma for the race. In P14, I mean, we've seen it, nearly going for it, but I'm still with it.
Okay, well, that's your verdict from Maku. Please leave your comments in the live chat, folks. A pleasure to have you all on board with us here at PSGL as all the cars begin to line up for the start of this Grand Prix. It's been a sensation. It's been awesome. It's about to kick off now. Here come the lights. First light, I'm not sure if that's all the lights, folks, but we'll keep you busy. And it's pedal to the metal. Go, 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 go. And instantly away goes Lucas Blakely. What a start. Already overcuts. Well, certainly overtakes Lucas, Freddie Rasmussen heading into La Source. A little bit of carnage, knuckle dusting. But Blakely's away like a shot. Makes his way up now through Eau Rouge. Very shortly up towards the Keppel straight out of Radion. In mind as well, Freddie Rasmussen. A tie up there between Tanitsa and Danny Moreno. They're all hightailing their way up. Barry Burraman as well. Right to the rear of Jake Benham, who's holding firm as they go through Lane Com. In comes Freddie Rasmussen from the get-go, but Blakely holds him off. What a start to this Grand Prix.
What an incredible start, and everyone holds position. Everyone is still basically where he started in the top 10. We've got all of them on the soft tires, and even though everyone had slipstream, nobody could get past Blakely, and it almost looks like he's already trying to form a gap. He's a bit pulling away, not yet much. We'll have to see and watch for the rest of the race. Oh, and we've got Smasher out of the session. But for now, it's all about that top position. Blakely's getting away because Benham and Rasmussen are in the midst of a fight. Speedberry is, of course, trying to get a position out of that as well.
He is indeed. He's right in behind Jake Benham. We have, in fact, seen Nicholas Longue spin, as well as been less of an impressive performance here from the Alpine team so far, apart from Fabrizio Donoso, who's currently down in P7. But just look at Barry Burraman back in PSGL for the first time since the grand finale last season. But nevertheless, he's still looking very potent. Currently stuck in behind Jake Benham. As you look further down as well, there you see Tanitsa there with Danny Moreno in behind as well. Chinaka Clay, who's trying to gain on Donoso with Vallejo, one of the quicker unsigned drivers up in the top 10 as well. Perantic in behind him as well as they now make their way up through Eau Rouge. There you can see Blakely still holding on to a half a second advantage. Behind him is Freddie Rasmussen, of course, looking to try and turn up the heat with recent races that he's been in. Can he do it though this time? Look at him behind. Danny Moreno taking an alternative line, heading up the straight before he reaches Lake Com, but still in front. Nevertheless, it's going to be Blakely as now Michael Rubenidis makes his way up into P12.
Just incredible how these drivers come put along. And Clay is looking down the inside of Donoso, and it's really tight in there. He just pushed himself through. I don't know how he managed to do that cleanly, but both of them still racing. Looks like a good speed from him. Already made up 2 places and looking further up, of course. And for that, Pratis made up 3 places already in the points now, and he's got nearly a second to clear until he's right at the back of Ruben Vallejo.
Yeah, he's not far away at all, but Shanaka Clay has gained yet another spot. He's managed to overtake. Oh, no! Vallejo's gone! Vallejo's gone! And that means now that Parancic moves up, so does Donoso. But Shanaka Clay, who's been in red-hot form, has managed to overtake that man, Fabrizio Donoso, as well as Tomek Parancic, as well, who's up in P9. Jarno Otmir is currently stuck in behind. Sebastian Job in P14 place right now, making his way down now towards the bus stop chicane. He's right in behind the AlphaTauri, as well as Darren Yamulo, who's right in behind the Dutchman. Sebastian Job ran a little bit wide there, and this can open the door for the Flying Dutchman now as they make their way down towards the source. Will Jarno turn up the heat? Moves in on the inside. The Dutchman flies. Can he land it as they go wheel to wheel on the exit? Still the Mercedes wheel to wheel with the AlphaTauri as they make their way up towards Eau Rouge. You can see them still going wheel to wheel. Nothing separates them but Jarno. He's going to try and hold on. Oh, my word. No, that's carnage. That's devastation. Jarno Otmir still holds on to his position, but we've lost Sebastian Job so early in this race. What a start to this Grand Prix. It's been nothing but chaos. In comes Lemaitre as well for a move this time. Alessio Di Capua still fighting back. A loss of shape. In front goes Di Capua. But what about that scene of drama there? Sebastian Job and Jarno Otmir coming together out of Eau Rouge. Two cars through that sector. It's always dangerous, Maku.
It always is a lot of risk. You go through side by side through Eau Rouge and Radion, and in this case it just didn't work out. But we've got DRS enabled, and we've got every single driver in this window is Benham.
Jakey Benham, Jakey B making his way up into P2, dispatches Freddie Rasmussen, the Red Bull driver. Incredible stuff. He's managed to overtake him. One of the heroes of recent weeks has certainly managed to send his way up into the top two. Absolutely phenomenal. Cedric Tomei, I can imagine, is probably cheering from his house right now. Freddie Rasmussen currently under a little bit of difficulty. You can see there Barry Burman just stuck in behind him right now as they enter the bus stop chicane. Phenomenal scenes of this race. We've only had 3 laps. DRS is only just about enabled as they make their way down towards La Source yet again. Still in front, the Scottish mastermind Lucas Blakely leads the way just like he did in Spain, but Jake Benham on his tail. But don't discount Freddie Rasmussen, he's not far behind, Maku.
Yeah, and I have to say that the amount of pressure Barry and Danny are putting on the top 3 is just incredible. At the moment, Barry
Here comes Freddie. Here comes Freddie. Freddie, he's clocked him. He's going for it. Benham might not be P2 for much longer. Look at this now. What will Freddie do? He's going to sit in behind him. No move just yet, says Benham. He's going to hold on to that P2. But just look at Rasmussen. He's all over him like a nasty rash right now. Nothing separates them at the top end. Barry Burman back with a vengeance. Danny Moreno, his former certainly rival in last year's championship when they were all fighting for the constructors. But Danny Moreno, of course, I have to say the machine is relentless. You can expect nothing but pressure from that man in the Silver Arrows, and I gotta say, we love to see it. I hope you're all enjoying it there at home. It's extraordinary, utterly extraordinary, and I'm sure we're going to be seeing more of it. But going back to you, Maku, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, I was talking about Barry and Moreno, of course, and how they're putting pressure on the top 10. I mean, the top 5 are now slowly pushing away. Blakely, of course, still maintaining this lead. This is just incredible. He's basically not even been attacked. And he's just managing the front very good. Of course, the 4 drivers in behind are fighting to the edge. They give each other nothing, and I think that's also what kind of helps Blakely at the moment. You can see just how close those 4 get when going into the bus stop chicane. It's basically front wing in the rear wing of the man in front. And this is insane. This is just insane.
Yeah, you've got to be so brave, Maku. Just so brave.
Yeah,
because you're going
so close.
Nose to tail through bends like the Source, coming up through Eau Rouge, not forgetting the corners like Les Combes when you head into the chicane. It's so dangerous. You're wheel to wheel, you're nose to tail, and you've got to put it all on the line. That's if you want to be the best at this particular game. As you can now see, Speed Barry with Danny Moreno hot on his tail in behind. Rasmussen this time, is he going to hang off? No, he's going to stay in behind that man, Jake Benham, and stay in the slip slipstream, maybe a little bit of conservation with the ERS. Jake Benham knows exactly who's behind him, of course. He was a championship contender in F1 Esports last season, and for good reason as well. Red Bull are fully endorsing this driver, Freddie Rasmussen. Remember, he was the winner of the Formula E Accelerate Esports Championship, so he has got championship gold around his waist. He is certainly not one to be fraternised with, and Jake Benham with an all-stars performance for a man who is not signed to an esports team this season is proving to be a tricky customer for many of these guys out on track right now, as Michael Romanidis now is starting to really hunt all over the rear end of Philip Presjeda. There's battles across this track, Maku.
Yeah, because everyone's basically at the same pace, and as long as you don't drop off the... Oh, a little mistake from Presjeda there, going wide onto the grass, and that's maybe just a chance for Michael Romanidis to do the overtake on this long full throttle straight, basically straight through Blanchimont. They go still behind each other, but now into the bus stop. Is there something to come? Is he going for it? And no, he's not, just sticking behind for now. But we'll see whether he chooses to go into La Source or on the Camel Straight.
Yeah, there's plenty of battles further up as well. Tomek Parancic as well, about right behind Shanaka Clay. It's a job to know which one to follow, but this one at the top looks tasty. Danny Moreno right in behind Barry Burman yet again as they come through Eau Rouge. There they go. Barry Burman has not escaped the front wing of that Mercedes car. Two Mercedes engines meet again. This time the machine, Danny Moreno, looks onto his rival coming into lane com. Will he lane break it? Not this time. Stays hunting in behind the McLaren of Barry Burman. No opening was provided, no opening taken. Danny Moreno will hold on to P5 for now. They're all in tandem. I think they're waiting for that first pit stop, Maku.
Yeah. And in terms of strategy, we haven't exactly split grid what we had. The first top 10 were on the softs from quali, and the other 10 were on the mediums for the two-stopper, and that's basically the whole race. It's now just about whether you pick the exact right lap to pit, and whether you can gain places with the...
There goes the Dutchman. Jarno Watnier now up into P10. He's in the top 10. The Flying Dutchman seems to have recovered well. Yeah, he's in the points. If we were talking league racing, this would have been points for Jarno Watnier, of course. He's also on the alternate strategy. And speaking of alternate strategies, Tomek Parancic, how about this? P6 on the medium tyres. What could that mean at the end of this race? Because naturally, we've seen it before. Tomek seems to have adjusted to the new handling model extremely well. We've seen him fighting with the best of them at the top end in recent weeks. And once again, he's proven to be a force, as already Rasmussen and Barry Burman are opting to box here, Maku.
Yeah, but Blakely stays out. Are those two trying a bit different? I don't know, maybe they've just pushed too much and they need to change the tyres. Either they're got too hot or they're too much used. Let's see how this turns out. I mean, we'll have to watch when Blakely gets in. What we can't forget, as you said, Parancic and Jarno and all the alternative strat runners who might have got a big shot.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Of course, it's going to be very tight at the top. Still Blakely leads, though. Philip Presjeda again is so close to the rear of Tomek Parancic. But nevertheless, you've got Michael Romanidis in behind as well for Williams, who's driving a superb race on his return to PSGL. And he certainly has returned to PC League Racing as well. Plenty of drivers out there right in the fight here. And this is what we're saying, folks. You're not going to get one driver sticking out this season, certainly, where it comes to drama or certainly battling. Everyone has just as much of an opportunity as the other, as Dario Yamulo, I believe, has had an off. He is cascading down the field. He has lost places to Chanakinci and Domenico Lavecce, and now he's making his way around the latter sector. As well in behind him is Fabrizio Donoso, who I think has had some problems of his own. He's down into P12 now and starting to get hoovered up by the field here, Maku.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he had damage or something, but I can't see anything on his car. Doesn't look great though for him, and yeah, we're starting now to see the rest of the pit stop phases. Blakely coming in now, Benham coming in now, Moreno taking the lead for that, and now we will see, will Rasmussen take over the lead? Has this strategy worked? Or maybe, I mean, it's also just about, did you do maybe a little mistake on the pit entry or exit? If you brake too early, brake too... Oh, and there's Emilio out of the race.
Yeah, Yamulo certainly looked like he was struggling. He made an error earlier on. We did spot it. And unfortunately, he's now out of the race. And that means that both Alpha Tauris are out of the race as well. But look at this tasty affair. Up at the top end, of course, Tomek Paracic, who has done exceptionally well to hold off Philip Presnader. But look at Presnader now. Inside line, heading into lane com. The Alfa Romeo. Brilliant down the outside there. Outside line, taking the inside corner into lane com. And he takes P2. With Tomek now in P3. In mind as well, Michael Romanidis. In the background, the Flying Dutchman coming into the fight as well. He's up into P5 after the pit stops, and I'm sure we'll see them all line up once again, all battling together on the alternate strategy. It's coming through for them now, but still Danny Moreno leads on the soft tyres, and I'm sure he'll be boxing soon, Maku.
Yeah, but look at that. The strategy worked for Lucas, but not for Jake. Lucas still in front of Freddie, but Jake lost his position to Freddie and Barry. Not the optimal start, but I mean, Jake, we've seen his pace, and we know that he wants to fight back up there.
Well, he certainly will. I mean, Jake Benham, he's got the actual ability. There is nothing wrong with Jake Benham's ability. He has got the pace. He has certainly got the talent. We've seen it in recent weeks. The man is extraordinary. He's only 15 years of age, Maku. Jake Benham is here fighting with the best of them. Those esports professionals who, of course, have been lighting things up in the world of F1 esports. And now they're coming to roost here at PSGL with this little upstart. Jake Benham, who has come in to join the fight at the age of 15, holding his own in a Hasselblad cars, which seems to be finding his pace right now. Of course, Cedric Tomei has been doing the car justice in recent weeks, has handed the seat to one Jake Benham, who has turned up a speed Barry Burman, lands on the fastest lap, and Oshinaka Clay takes it off his hands with a 142.632. Lovely stuff, certainly from the Aston Martin driver. Now they're all starting to get back into formation as Tanik's in their boxes into the pits.
Yeah, we've got one who's actually opted for the Haas, which is the Capua. Not sure whether that was on purpose, but I mean, yeah, I don't know. Because usually it's just a simple soft medium here in Spa, and that's it. Basically, the rest is just racing, and that's the fun about this track, because it's just amazing to drive on. And yeah, now next pit stop phase is for the medium runners. Another 10 pit stops coming in, and let's see where the likes of Tomek, Paracic, Presnader, Romanis, and Opmer land in the end.
Absolutely, we have to wait and see. You can see as well Freddie Rasmussen getting closer and closer to the back of Nicolas Longuet, and he might have it done by Blanchimont here. Remember, Longuet has got 8 laps attributed onto his medium tyres, and he could end up getting overtaken and signed and sealed and delivered by Freddie Rasmussen as they round Stavelot now, heading out of Paul Frere very, very shortly. And there you can see them nose to tail once again. Look at the exit speed there from the Red Bull of Freddie Rasmussen. It's oh so simple. It's oh so breezy. Up goes Rasmussen. Up into P8, overtakes the Alpine of Nicolas Longuet, heading down now into the bus stop chicane. Moreno finally pits, and Rasmussen now moves up into 8th place, is solidly now in behind Lucas Blakely, and as they make their way now past the paddock, it's going to move them up a spot with Moreno's pit stop, and there we see them moving up yet another spot, and that means the Mercedes driver will cascade downwards as though Barry Burman moves up into P8 Maku.
Yeah, there we go. This is basically like lapping a car, even though it is actually for position, but he has just the way worse tires than those who are actually in the net lead. Lucas Blakely just set the fastest lap of the race.
Benham coming to join them. He's coming to join the party. Up goes Young 15. Oh my word, speed Barry Burman. What a move there. Heading into lane com. He caught Rasmussen napping. Heading into that chicane and got it done in superb fashion. Welcome return here from Barry Burman. The Iranian with the outright pace utilised it heading into the chicane. And that McLaren now up into P7. What an absolute display of incredible scenes here in this Belgian Grand Prix. It's getting better and better every week, and I have to say, if we're going to be seeing this in the league, Maku, we're going to be in for a real treat.
Yeah, I think you're going to need a lot more water and then a lot more treatments for your voice in the end.
A sponsorship with Evian water, I think, is going to have to be the way forward, I think.
Oh, Romani is spun. Oh no, it was in such a good position.
No, that's a real shame there for Michael Romanidis. He now gets swallowed up by half the field. and Lucas Blakely being one of them to master his way up through as well. In behind now, Jake Benham is Michael Romanidis, who is now getting hunted down by Nicholas Longe, who dispatches the Williams with ease heading into bus stops. So the grip is really starting to fail some of these guys. These curbs are oh so dangerous, and Michael Romanidis must have sustained a little bit of damage, maybe a flat spot on those medium tyres, and he now opts to box. And now we're looking further up as well, because Philip Presnader and Jarno Watmere are now making their way up through a Rouge. Remember, they are yet to stop as well. They're going for the alternate strategy, and the medium tyres now are currently finding their feet around this circuit. Of course, Jarno likes to use this strategy, of course, takes his tyres right to the end, and I know that Tomek Paradzic likes to do the same as well. He's looking to go toe-to-toe with the Flying Dutchman as they come round the next chicane, heading out now down towards Bruxelles, and certainly now the Mercedes is going to have to kick it up a gear. His teammate has already boxed and effectively been cut out by the top, effectively the net leaders of this race. We'll have to wait and see what will happen. It's going to get so tasty, folks, as Freddie Rasmussen now starts to move up on Jake Benham after getting overtaken.
Yeah, this is just packed with action. We're still just waiting. I mean, I don't know where Jana and the rest comes. I mean, we can maybe take a look at the leader times. Onto Lucas. Lucas is just 8 seconds onto Tomek. So basically, Tomek will be still over 10 seconds behind Lucas in the end. So they still got a lot of positions to fight up again.
Well, it's certainly a lot of work to do, and certainly they've got to put those fresher medium tyres to use. It's going to take a little bit of time. Lucas, though, looking okay. He's managed to spring a gap of 1.3 seconds on the cars behind. So, obviously, that does mean that he will be outside the DRS range. Now, this is what Lucas did at the Spanish Grand Prix, if you remember, folks. He built a lead of around 1.5 seconds, was able to build on it, and that gave him that advantage, of course, heading into the latter part of the race. Jarno Watmere now trying hard to remain within the tow of Tomek Paradzic as well. He is well within a second, though, and can utilise it as they make their way up now. We're viewing Freddie Rasmussen making his way up now. Eau Rouge heading out now onto the Kemmel Straight out of Radion, and as they do so, you can see them all just bustling their way over the hill now, heading round the straight as blue flags are raised as they overtake the ghost cars, making their way now up towards Les Combes. You can see them now. Danny Moreno battling with Shanaka Clay as they make their way up the field now, and Danny Moreno has dispatched the Aston Martin. So a great display there from Danny Moreno, who of course opted for that later stop, has got fresher tyres as they go past the blue flag car, and still on top though is Lucas Blakely. A long way to go before they can build the group back together, but nevertheless it looks like that Jake Benham is closing on Barry Burremand. It could be the case, Maku, that Lucas Blakely's run away with this.
Yeah, it could be. He has such a massive gap, and between Barry Benham and Rasmussen, you only see battles. And I think Danny Moreno is, maybe due to his tyre advantage, in the end closing into that group. Well, he's not so far away from Rasmussen actually. And this is just pure battling till death basically. And Blakely has his bit confident lead, and I think he's just managing it. I think he's not struggling much at the moment. He's basically just got now Dominic Lovechin ahead of him, but he has still to pit. So this overtake is not even actually necessary because due to the pit stops, he will get past anyway. But there he goes, lines up alongside through the inside. I don't think Dominica will put much of a fight against it because it's just nonsense on those old mediums.
Yeah, the tyres are looking pretty good at the moment for Blakely. He's finding the grip in all the right places. He did exactly the same as I mentioned before in Spain, and he's doing it exceptionally well now. He's only, as I speak, around about 6 to 7 seconds away from that man, Philip Presnader. There you can see Domenico Levetri trying to make his way through as well, as now Jake Benham dispatches Barry Burremand in excellent fashion. He's done it twice. He did it to Rasmussen, and now he's done it to Burremand. What is this young 15-year-old driver on tonight? He is absolutely buzzing. He is up into P6 now, fighting with the others around him. He is now taking a net P2 in this Grand Prix. He is boxed. His strategy's come to an end. He can make his way to the end on these medium tyres. Are we talking that Jake Benham could be a factor at the end of this Grand Prix?
This man is the second one on a mission. And this pure passion, this pure will, this looks very good. This looks very much like he could maybe be able to catch Blakely. Because look at the gap. He overtook Barry like 20 seconds ago. He has 0.6 of a gap already. So he is pushing. He doesn't want to get overtaken back again. His goal is Lucas.
Certainly is. He's not far away either. He's literally, he's hacking away at it. Currently just over 2 seconds the deficit. He's got Domenico Lavecce in between him and the Aston Martin of Lucas Blakely. In fact, now we're seeing them box now. Domenico Lavecce and the Ferrari team opting to pit on this occasion, making their way down towards La Source. They're ahead. You can see Lucas Blakely in the distance. Looking further up though as well. Jarno Watmir getting closer to Tomek Paracic, and you can see them now making their way up Eau Rouge now. The Flying Dutchman needs to do just that. Will open up the DRS as they make their way up the hill. Now in behind as well, Filip Prejneda on the same strategy as Tomek Paracic and Jarno Watmir as they head into Les Combes, as we can now see them heading into the next twisting section in this initial part of this circuit, now into Sector 2 proper, and now we'll see them heading down now into the next right-hander at Bruxelles, and still Tomek Paracic leads them out, albeit he hasn't stopped yet, but still in mind, Lucas Blakely has got 4.2 seconds behind, to find on Filip Prejneda, so still plenty of time left of this race with little over 8 laps left to go. And I have to say, answers on a postcard please folks. Who do you think is going to win this Grand Prix? Is it going to be Otmier? Is it going to be Paracic? Is it going to be Blakely? Hit us up in the comments folks.
This is going to be a massive one, and even though it's looking very strong for Blakely at the moment, there's still a chance for a lot of people. Jake, with his performance today, is looking absolutely pinpointed on that win. And of course, you can never count out a Flying Dutchman or Tomek Paracic, who is at the moment still in front of him and can maintain this lead.
Well, he can. Of course he can. He's now boxing, though. Jarno will take the lead, and he's actually staying out. The Flying Dutchman is opting to staying out. I think he's hoping to get some real nice, fresh, soft tyres now, and so is Prejneda. So they have both boxed. It now leaves a Sol Otmier now out on track. In behind Lucas Blakely, 3.8 seconds behind. A very brave choice here from Jarno Otmier. Needs to try and garner himself some time in order to try and box on the softs to make sure that he can dispatch them quickly as he makes his way up now through the Camel Straight. Looking further down, you've got Prejneda exiting the pit bay. He has got a lot of cars in behind him, including Donoso, mind you, but he's managed to come out on top. But can he hold on up through the Camel Straight, Maku?
Yeah, that is the big question. But I think so far it does look good. But here we go. Fabrizio Donoso going on to Prejneda into Les Combes. That's for now the fight. But Di Capua, what happened to Di Capua?
Yeah, we've lost Di Capua. He went onto the hard tyres, if you remember, and of course that's not... I think he must have been struggling with the handling, of course. The new handling system has upset a few, I think, at the start of this race, certainly the start of this season, or start of this game cycle. It has sort of changed the way a lot of these drivers have had to start conducting themselves in races, certainly when it comes to attacking the corners. You don't want to hit the curbs too aggressively, but now we're watching Filip Prejneda now, who has been dispatched by Fabrizio Donoso, of course, the Chilean, who has been so good since the start of F1 2021, but Prejneda has not left his rear end, and of course Filip Prejneda looking for an upturn in his fortunes after a very difficult season last year. And remember, of course, he was with the Ferrari team himself, but has now recently signed to the Sauber Esports team for this new season in F1 Esports. So now watching them now right their way around the left-hander of Blanchimont. Here comes the Alfa Romeo tucked behind the Alpine's rear wing. Will he go for the move here, heading into the bus stop chicane? No, he won't. He's going to hold off. He's going to wait, I believe, until the long climb heading up through Eau Rouge, and he will obviously have the DRS, making his way out to this straight now, heading down towards La Source. In mind as well, you got David Tanitsa and Domenico Lavecce battles across this field, Maku.
There's action everywhere, and Jarno actually just went into the pits. Now it's interesting, the gap.
He's just come out, Maku.
Huge. Yeah, the gap is huge to Tomek. It was under a second to Tomek before, and now it's up to 3. Strategy didn't work out quite as well as he might have thought, but maybe he just opted for one left fresher tyres and on softs, so that really matters.
It certainly does. The one good bit of news, though, is that he has come out ahead of Philip Presnader. That, of course, has worked. But like you say, a massive stop. You do wonder whether Presnader's been delayed slightly, as Fabrizio Donoso has actually lost himself slightly heading over those curbs. But there, Otmir in P8 currently. He's in behind Tomek Paragic right now. All of them on fresh softs. Paragic is going to be a danger. And he's actually chopping, lumberjacking at the deficit between him and Shanaka Clay right now. Looking further up, you can see there Freddie Rasmussen looking to have a go at Barry Burman as well. Jake Benham is managing to hold on to that P2 position. He's only 1.6 seconds behind Lucas Blakely. He is absolutely flying, Maku. And in mind now, we've also got Freddie Rasmussen looking to try and turn up the heat. There's plenty of opportunities here across this grid order. Maku, I don't know where it's going to go, but I feel that we're going to be in for a real battle heading up through the Camel Straight.
Yeah, this is going to be the big treat. And now I think Benham had a little mistake on the exit out of the backstop chicane, and Barry's now right up his rear wing. Not going into La Source, but this is definitely an overtake to come onto the Camel Straight. And it's either Barry or Rasmussen or both. Do you want to see some three-wide action here?
I certainly do, Maku, as they come up through a rouge now. There you can see, certainly Barry Burman trying to hold on with what he's got from Frederick Rasmussen, though, looking ever so dangerous now as they whittle their way up through a three-wide affair as they head up through Les Combes. Either side, the Red Bull and the McLaren heading up through there now. Certainly Barry Burman, sorry, Rasmussen does the double. He's done the double. He has done the both heading through Les Combes. Never a more sensational move than that. Welcome to the show, Freddie Rasmussen. Up into P2, that is exceptional. Heading through that section of the track, latter stage of Sector 1 through Les Combes, snatches P2 off both Barry Burman and Jake Benham. Extraordinary scenes.
That was a double overtake on Jake, and it was just a little mistake that's cost him that, and he just needs to refocus now because he definitely has the pace to get that back. But what an amazing move. One on the inside, one on the outside, and round they go.
It was incredible, Maku. What a battle for second place, and it's going to continue as well. Just look at this, though. Lucas Blakely has managed to garner himself yet another 1.3 second advantage just because of that battle alone heading up through Les Combes. And that, of course, has gifted him certainly plenty of time gap now, and he can potentially run away with this. And that gap is increasing. It's nearing out to 3 seconds now, which is absolutely extraordinary. There's the Aston Martin in the distance. Look at this, though. Danny Moreno right back into this as well. It's all brought it all closer together. Further down you can see Tomek Paragic as well with Jarno Otmir very, very close together as well. Philip Presnader, I believe, has had a little problem of his own. He's fallen right behind as well as Tomek Paragic now moves his way up into P6, overtaking Shanaka Clay of all people. Incredible stuff across this grid. The alternate strategy now starting to come into fruition. The soft tyres are feeling good as now we're watching them hightail their way up through now. Barry Burman now looking on Freddie Rasmussen. No move into Les Combes. He will not exact revenge here on Rasmussen. The Red Bull can hold on to P2 for now, Maku.
Yeah, both Barry and Benham are looking for this P2, and they're both so hungry to win this. And I don't think there's much more competition against Lucas, because he's got the 3-second gap, and those 3 or maybe 4 guys now joined by Moreno, and maybe later on even by Tomek. Those 4 or 5 guys have their own battle now. This is basically their own race. I don't think anyone can catch Lucas at the moment now. They just want to get that second position.
Absolutely. Well, look at this now, because Jarno Otmir is right on the rear of Shanaka Clay, so he's looking to try and find his way up into P7. Of course, the Dutchman is never done. Anything can happen in racing, folks. You can get penalties, safety cars, anything of that nature. Shanaka Clay nursing a penalty himself right now, heading out now, down towards Blanchimont. Here comes the Flying Dutchman, opens up on Shanaka Clay, takes the inside line around Blanchimont and gets it done very easily indeed, utilising the soft tyres. Just look at the difference in tyre grip and of course performance as well. The Dutchman now moves into the bus stop around the latter stage of that chicane now, down the long straight, very shortly to commence his lap 19 of 22, but still a long way to go. Needs to try and find another certainly 8/10 on Tomek Paragic, but then there's a mighty gap of 5 seconds heading up to the top 5. Now we're seeing them head up through Eau Rouge. You can see there Freddie Rasmussen, now he's nursing his car up now. Here comes Barry Burman looking to join the fray.
Another 3 wide in the offering. Barry Burman down the outside of the Red Bull. Here comes
Benham.
Jake Benham as well. Heading through. No, he's lost it. He's utterly lost it, Baku.
What a disaster for Benham. This was one of the most incredible races I've seen, especially from him coming out of nowhere, basically. The only one who hasn't signed a contract, battling for P2, nearly for P1 in this incredible race. Now just a small mistake in midst of a battle cost him all his good progress, but at least he's still he still would be in the points in the league race. So for this race, it's really unfortunate because all that matters, or all that you want, is basically win. It's not about the points at the moment.
Well, I gotta say, whatever happens to Jake Benham, he will, of course, he cannot be ashamed of his performance. He has been absolutely extraordinary. He's been perfect, in fact, in all sense of the word. Has been absolutely devastating out on track, has made the right moves, and I have to say, it's been nothing short of exquisite, his racing. We've seen it in recent weeks. He deserves a lot more, I'm sure, as Danny Moreno, now the machine, looking to try and open the door here on Freddie Rasmussen himself. Looks down the inside, certainly, in the Mercedes, the Black Arrow looking to do damage once again. A different kind of Black Arrow this time. It's Danny Moreno on this occasion. The machine looking to open things up here. Might get a chance heading up now as they make their way up through Eau Rouge. There you can see Barry Burman just locking horns here at the top with Freddie Rasmussen, but Danny Moreno's come to party. The machine takes the inside line, making their way up towards Lane Com. Moreno going for a double. Oh, he's done the double. It is the machine, Danny Moreno, a flick of the rear, and he's up into P2. The Mercedes, what a drive from Danny Moreno, the smooth operator that we did not expect to be at the top end, but he's come from nowhere on a different strategy, few laps younger on the tyres, and he's flown up onto the front, certainly onto the podium, that's for sure. What a P2 visit here, Maku.
An absolute masterclass in overtaking, and he brought his car up onto P2, even though after we wrote him off after the pit stops, basically, we said, yeah, it's going to be hard to get back up, but we didn't think of that comeback.
Yeah, one thing we did miss as well, Maku, was Jarno Watmir overtaking Tomek Paragic as well. Right. He is in fact 6/10 clear of the McLaren now on the soft tyres. And I have to say, Mercedes now both making moves at the top end. I have to say, do not write the Dutchman off. I said it back in Spain last week. If you remember quite rightly, we all thought that Jarno made a bit of an error on strategic decision making, but managed to garner himself a P2 himself. But this is the chance here for a double Mercedes podium. He's got 2 laps to find it, though. It's going to be a heavy ask in order to do it, but in fact, if you look at it on the table, the way the medium tyres are going to be right now, there's going to be a huge difference in performance as Freddie Rasmussen is out. Rasmussen's out. I'm not sure quite what happened, folks, but he has bailed. He is in the pits. He's retired from the session, and now Jarno, no, there he is. He's gone off. He's gone off. So Jarno Watmir now is up into P4. We're going to revisit it anyway. Barry versus Jarno for that P3 spot, Maku.
But this is going to be a chase. It's 2 laps left. We basically have not even full 2 laps. Sebastian Job left the session. Oh yeah, he's already out. So no worries about that. But Lucas Blakely's still doing his chill race up front there, and Barry completely giving it all the battle with Danny. Of course, Tomek and Jarno. Did Tomek get past there? Did Tomek get past Barry again?
He got past
Opmer.
He got past Opmer heading up through into Lake Com, I believe, as they ran their way around Pouon. Jarno, unfortunately, getting overtaken and is now down to P5, so the battle still rages on between him and the McLarens. Of course, right this moment, Lucas Blakely, what can we say about this man? Of course, he seems to have gone unnoticed. I've got to say in this race, we've sort of left him to it being so far ahead. He's now nearing 4 seconds ahead of Danny Moreno. I mean, just look at this. The gap is insatiable. Looking further down, you can see that the Flying Dutchman as well, looking to try and garner on Tomek Paragic. Now, 3.5 tenths the difference. He's trying to garner here on Tomek Paragic now, garnering certainly every moment, every little bit of track, every bit of momentum he can find as they now head through bus stop now. And look at that nose to tail between the Flying Dutchman and, of course, the very fast pole of Tomek Paragic. These two have come to blows in the past. Jarno with a move down into La Source. Can he hold on to it as they make their way on the outside? said no move could be made, but he'll have another go, certainly on the Camel Straight. What a battle between these two, Maku.
This is going to be insane, but Jana is going to have a massive slipstream advantage. He goes opening the DRS down the straight, and I don't think he's got much of a problem. But of course, Parazis is probably using every bit of DRS he's got to defend against that. And around the outside, oh, that nearly looked like there was another contact, maybe a spin, because that inside curve is really dangerous.
Yeah, very close. Tomek Paradzic's front left wheel, just grazing the rear right of Jarno Otmir's tyre, but he's managed to overtake him into P4. Incredible stuff. It got oh so close. Remember, these two have had blows in the past, and we saw it at Silverstone. We saw it, of course, previously. Of course, if you remember, it was Paradzik who took the dive that solitary time. Paradzik, of course, out in Spain, but nevertheless, they're both very, very quality drivers, both of them high-intense drivers as well, both of them utilising the same strategy, and you get the feeling whether Tomek just wants to go toe-to-toe with the Dutchman. I mean, what better way, but just look at the tyre difference. Jarno has got plenty of life on those softs. Look at Barry's tyres up in third place, 72% wear on the front left as well. That's going to soon wear off now, heading through on the final lap.
We're on the final lap.
And here comes Lucas Blakely. He's going to take victory for the second time in PSGL. I have to say, we were all wrapped up in Jarno Otmir's battle, but Lucas Blakely with the win here in the PSGL Race 3 of the Esports Invitational. What an incredible drive. He's done it again, second time a winner, and I've got to say, I cannot believe what we have seen from this man. He has truly grown into league racing, the legend, the Scottish legend. I'm going to come up with a nickname for him, but what an incredible drive, a great drive. The Aston Martin driver does it again. What does this mean heading into a new season, Maku?
This is a completely new battle coming up. That is looking insane. That looks like a lot more driver involved for the top fight. We had last season, we had a lot more just Barry and Jana, but what we've seen today and the last few races was insane battles from all drivers in the whole grid smashed together. That was incredible.
It was a true testament to the battles that we expect here at PSGL, folks. And there's Jarno Otmir, another Driver of the Day performance. Pretty much the same as last week, of course, where he took Driver of the Day after an exquisite drive. I have to say, it was superb. And there is Lucas Blakely taking the top step of the podium once again for the Aston Martins. And I got to say, I could not wait to interview this man again. Obviously, some of you guys remember how humble he was, how excited he was to claim his first win ever in PSGL League Racing, or certainly here in the socials. He's done it again, and I can't imagine what it's like on his stream right now. If you remember, he was so overjoyed, so emotional about it all. He's had his struggles, he's turned it around yet again, and what does this mean for the young Blakely? He looks absolutely tremendous out on track right now, and he is your race winner. Danny Moreno, what a return. P2 for the Spaniard, makes his way up into the podium positions for Mercedes. Barry Burman back yet again, once again touching podium in his first race, returning this season on F1 2021. Jarno Otmir took P4, a great result for Mercedes here today. A 2-4 can never be sniffed at. Tomek Paradzik with another great result for McLaren too. Shanaka Clay up there for Aston Martin. McLaren, Mercedes and Aston Martin all sharing the top 6 spots. That's incredible. David Tonizza was in P7. Jake Bedham P8, great drive. Domenico Lavecce P9. Fabrizio Donoso P10. And that will round off your top 10, folks. But wowee, Maku. Wowee, people at home. I cannot believe what we saw. A great drive across the board. We enjoyed every moment of that. The battling was insatiable. And I tell you what, if it's anything to go by, we're going to be in for a very exciting league race season.
This is literally the best thing I think you can ever watch. It's just so much fun, so much action to come onto the next months with this grid and this amount of competition. And I think that's something we've never seen before ever in league racing, and it's just insane what happened today, and I think what will happen the whole season.
Oh, well, I mean, I've got to say, Lucas Blakely, I mean, first of all, incredible. I mean, we thought that we saw it all after that last race that we had at Spain, and I thought, honestly, could he do it again? I honestly, judging from that performance, you'd think he will. I mean, he deserves every bit of credit, that man. He's worked so hard, and I have to say, what a way to do it. A great performance here in our third Esports Invitational here in PSGL, and he can only go from strength to strength now. He just needs to keep building on these, truly eclectic performances, these truly phenomenal performances that have garnered him such positive results. His qualifying pace has been supreme. He has qualified pole, certainly in his last 2 outings, has looked very, very quick. And not only that now, 2 wins out of 2, 2 poles out of 2. The only man in, of course, the Esports Invitationals to do that. I mean, that just fills you with confidence, doesn't it?
It really does. And then we've had Jake Benham today, coming basically out of nothing. I mean, you know the name, you've heard of him, of course. You basically, no one just shows up and you have never heard of him. But he hasn't been signed anywhere, and he comes there and puts on a performance to put himself, in theory, onto P2. Just that unfortunate collision there at the final stages of the race. But this performance was incredible, and showing that he could really spice that fight for the top positions up.
Absolutely. Well, we're hoping we're going to see more of it, of course, folks, and we're going to be looking forward to seeing a lot more of these numbers as well. But incredible to see Aston Martin performing the way they are. Shanaka Clay certainly looks like a force to be reckoned with. But I want to talk about Jake Benham as well. 15 years of age, though. What kind of pressure is it for someone that age to come up? Someone who's unsigned, not with a team. He is here, he basically drives any car that's free, and yet he manages to get himself into a competitive position to challenge the best in the world up in a league like PSGL, where we know how intense the battles can be. And yet that doesn't seem to stop him. He just wants to get involved at the front. He wasn't scared to put moves on the likes of Freddie Rasmussen, of course. Like I said to you before, folks, Formula E Accelerate champion, and yet you've got someone like Jake Benham, 15 years of age, giving it what for on track against someone who's established as an esports professional. That's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think that he is not signed also gives him a bit of freedom, because you don't have the pressure of a contract sitting on you, and you basically can just straight up race. There is no rules, or I mean, you have no big reputation yet to lose. You can just give it all you have, and yeah, that's it. And if you show that you're ready for it, and you're ready for the big pressure, then why not?
Absolutely. Well, I'm glad, folks, to announce that we are joined by Tomek Parajic and the man who won the race eventually, that of course being Lucas Blakely. And I've got to say, Lucas, you've done it once already, man, but God, doing it twice in a row, and how about that? 2 poles from 2 wins from 2. I want to know what you're putting in your cereal every morning, my friend.
To be honest, I don't even know, man. I mean, last time I was, screaming the house down, but this time I'm just speechless. I just don't know what to think. Yeah, I mean, just speechless. Literally, I don't even know what to say. I just want to clarify as well, I didn't actually mean to go backwards across the line. I just got a bit too happy on the throttle, but honestly, speechless. I don't have words. I don't know.
Well, it almost seemed identical to the Spain race. I mean, it was like you got on pole, you led into turn 1. Is that obviously turn 1? I mean, I know every corner is important, every move's important, but how important is it to keep that position heading into turn 1? Because I noticed that immediately from the get-go, you went in front of Freddie to block off any approach. Was that a conceited effort just to make sure that you did lead and then you could just build on it as you made your way through?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, Spa is very much a sort of a train of a track. Like, you're always in a train, and it's very tricky to break out of the train. So, obviously, on lap 1, I was like, right, if I can keep the lead, that would be, ideal. So, yeah, used a lot of ERS just to keep ahead of Freddie, but it was 100% worth it, because the risky run is you can then drop back to second, yes, but if you have one little wiggle on these curbs, which are absolutely lethal this year, I mean, I think every driver today probably had a moment where it was very, very scary. But yeah, literally, if you have one moment, you fall down the order, and it's very tricky to manage. So I just tried to run from the front, keep my lead as best as possible. And yeah, I mean, I think Freddie had a slip on one of the curbs, and then I literally had a slip on the next corner myself, which was, I don't know if that's just good fortune or what, but literally just, it's so tricky to not lose it on these curbs. I mean, my wrists are absolutely knackered because I was having to be so tense and so precise not to make a mistake in that entire race. And yeah, I mean, just to be honest, the most emotional part was the pole, because I think I improved by like 0.3 of a second, and I was quite a far way away. And I pull out a lap when I was under a lot of pressure, because I mean my heart rate was through the roof. I can tell you one thing: it was really, really, really stressful, because I knew I was quick enough to do it. There was no excuses, so it was like, right, let's get it. Let's go for it. And wow, I mean, I think honestly the reaction to qualifying was better than the race. I mean, I was just speechless at the race. But yeah, and then honestly, there wasn't one part of that race apart from maybe the final like 5 laps or so when the gap really opened up, because everyone started fighting and getting penalties, where I thought, right, reel it in, because I think JK. Now, can I just say one thing as well? Jacob, is it Jacob or JKB? I don't know, but
Jake Benham, yeah.
Honestly, this kid's friggin' rapid, man. Like I actually had to like not re-engage, but I just had to start to like try and like show that I had a bit more pace in hand to like keep going away, which thankfully paid off in the end. But JK was obviously pushing really, really hard because obviously had less to lose. I was just trying to manage it. So yeah, I mean, I had to use a few of my tools and then try and unlock a bit more pace again, which I think I had enough to answer with. So I mean, it was just a moment of having to keep sharp the whole race and not be complacent. There was so many times in that race I could have sat back and thought, yeah, okay, let's just drive away and relax now. I had to keep myself focused and keep pushing and know when to push and when to be cautious, for example. And yeah, I mean, I think I just managed it as best I could. And to be honest, it doesn't even feel like I've won the race. I just don't understand. It hasn't even registered that it's happened, dude. I just don't understand. I am properly just speechless to it. I just don't know.
Well, I mean, let's talk about. I just want to ask about that quali lap as well, because, like you say, you're speechless. Against a grid like this, though, and we've got 3 champions in that grid today. You've, of course, got David Tanitsa, who won back in, I believe it was 2019. You've got the 2020 champion, Jarno Opmeer. And then, of course, you've got the Formula E Accelerate champion, Freddie Rasmussen, as well. So the fact that you're able to take a lap and do a 1:39.4, I believe, was your pole time, that is a huge flex on a grid like that. And I have to say, props also goes to Jake Benham as well for being where he was at 15 years of age. I think that is absolutely incredible. But how big of a deal, and you might have just sort of hinted at this, obviously in your previous comments, but that is such a flex, isn't it, against drivers with that sort of pace, isn't it? And then of course you've got to execute in the race, of course, but nevertheless a huge boon of confidence again.
I mean, I don't know if I'd call it a flex, but I mean, it's literally. I mean, the lap was really good. I literally have zero complaints. Yeah. Like, I mean, I seen Freddie in the middle run put in a 5, and I was like, sugar. I never got. I mean, in practice, I knew I had a good pace, and I knew I could be doing the lap times. But then the second run was really disappointing, along with the first run, and I was like, I've 2/10 down now on Freddie, and I was predicting Freddie to improve yet again on like another 10th or something like that. So it's like, okay, well, if I want this, I need to do everything I can, and then everything else will play out on its own. And I mean, the lap was. The adrenaline on that lap was through the roof. Like that was the qualifying made the race. Had I not done what I did in qualifying, there was no way the outcome would have been the same. It would have been much harder to even get a remote chance to fight for the win again. And yeah, I mean, I don't think people watching really fully understand how much pressure and how difficult it is sometimes to pull out these sort of laps when they are. I don't even think I was a 10th off of. I don't know if I was a 10th or less off of my PB, which around a track as long as Spa is phenomenally. Like it's close. Like it's so much harder than it looks to do. Like all these things. Like it's. I mean, I don't know if people just think we just sit in a chair and it's fun and we just race away, but I can tell you one thing: my heart rate. If I had a heart monitor on, it would have been through the sky. It was so freaking difficult. I mean, sorry if that's language or anything, but
No,
literally
you're all
just
good.
so hard to pull that out. Like, people just think, I mean, I think you said like pole win. That it doesn't feel like that, because it feels like it takes so much effort to get each and every single one of these individual achievements, whether it's just a pole position or whether it's a podium or whether it's a win. Everything takes so much work. People, I just think, don't realise sometimes how much it takes to do these things. And it's testament to every single driver that's on this grid to even be remotely in this category, because I mean, I don't want to say it, but I mean, I know I won the race and stuff, and I don't want to make it sound like I'm saying these sort of things to, make it look good, because that's not the type of person I am. I don't see myself as an egotistical person. That's not who I want to be, but it's more so like a testament and a compliment to anyone that's even remotely in the field of how much talent there is. I mean, as I say, I mean, is JK 15 years old? Like,
15 years
if
of
he
age.
is, honestly, that's phenomenal. Like, in a grid like this, I mean, that's incredibly impressive. I mean, that's one thing I can say for sure. But yeah, it's just, if you're on this grid, even just to finish or pull off a great result, it's automatically an achievement, because the competitive level is so high. And I think partly the reason that, I mean, my voice is a little bit gone again, but I think partly the reason this one's a bit much not as explosive as last time is because I still feel like I'm in race mode. Like, it took so much concentration and so much
especially
effort.
around Spa, yeah.
Oh man, yeah, no, honestly, on this year's game, it's ridiculously difficult. Like, trying to do one lap in qualifying without dropping it or spinning it, or you get an invalidation, it's crazy. Like, you have no idea how difficult it is. I mean, this year's Spa is one of the hardest. I'd say it's one of the hardest tracks on time trial to do. I mean, it's probably the one that I had to spend the most time on to get as little improvement. So yeah, it's very tricky, but yeah, I honestly don't even feel like I've won the race. Like, it's just, I don't know what to say to it. It's
well,
considering where things have been in the past and to now have, even though I don't realise it, to have had these results, and I know it's only a so-so race, so I mean, the work has to continue to go in. It doesn't take anything away from it in my eyes. It's just crazy, and it feels really good. So yeah, I should probably stop rambling, because I'm really just struggling to even comprehend.
Honestly, you've done exceptionally well, and honestly, it's a privilege to speak to you each. Well, I'm gonna. I wonder if this is going to be a habit now going forward, but we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, no, incredible, and we're gonna. I mean, I enjoyed that performance, and like many did in the live chat as well. You got a lot of support behind you, Lucas, and it's a pleasure to see it as well. And I hope we're going to see a lot more of it too, heading into the new season. I mean, what a start to life at PSGL. And I'm going to really look forward to seeing you. I hope you're going to be in the league this coming season. I hope you are. But if you are, I'm looking forward to seeing it, and I'm sure you'll build on great performances such as this. Well done, mate.
Thank you so much, and again, great job to PSGL, as I said last week, because you guys are just knocking it out of the park. And thank you very much for having me, as always.
Thank you, Lucas.
Sorry.
No, it's all right. You enjoy your win, my friend. You enjoy it. Well done. Next up, we have the McLaren driver Tomek Parajic. And Tomek, once again, we find you battling with the Flying Dutchman. I have to say, this is becoming a weekly habit.
Yeah, it is. But I like to think that this battle was the best, as it didn't end in tears for either of us. So, yeah, that was... oh my god, my voice is also gone. And I haven't screamed after this race.
I know,
but,
I know how you feel, mate. I know how you feel. Don't worry. No, honestly, mate, you've been... something's happened to you lately. You've almost flicked a switch. Something has clicked into gear. I'm not sure whether it is the handling system, but you seem a lot more at home on this game than you did last season. Is there? Would you agree with me on that? Is there some truth to that statement?
I think, honestly, I haven't shown my full potential on the previous game. At no point I felt like I was driving at the top of my level. But with this new game coming out, the kind of motivation came back, and for this race I've done like good hours of practice and all that stuff, and I was generally those 3 races I was kind of hoping to show that I'm still a very solid driver, because I like to think that I am. And honestly, looking back at all the 3 invitationals, all were good. I think there's still definitely qualifying to work on. The quality pace isn't exactly there. Like, for example, today I started 13th, mainly due to the fact I invalidated the last lap, which was going to be P2 on the grid, so I was pretty mad with that. But generally, the race pace is looking pretty good. I always gain positions in the race, and it's now just about putting the qualifying together. And I think then I'll be able to compete at the top more consistently. Because right now, I finish in top 5, but there's that little bit missing to get to the very top and to battle people like Lucas or Barry or all the Alpine drivers sometimes. So yeah, I think I'm just missing that little bit. But yeah, I'm definitely feeling a lot more confident on this game, mostly down to the fact that I'm motivated again to practice, to put the hours in, and then to perform.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're going to be in line to have one of the most exciting league racing seasons we've ever had. I think certainly based on the quality of the grid, it's gone up tenfold since last season. I mean, last season was great, but I think we're going to be probably seeing the most competitive season we've ever seen in league racing. Would you agree with that statement based on what we've seen in the preseason races?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think this is going to be by far the biggest couple months for league racing in history. And I also have some behind-the-scenes info on the grid that we're going to see, and it's absolutely insane. And for myself to, possibly be included with those people is great, because just racing at this kind of level is just something else. It will be like nothing other. So I'm really excited for this season. If I get the full-time spot, obviously to drive, but also even to watch, this is gonna be incredible, because we'll have pretty much the top 20 drivers in the world fighting it out, and that's something that we haven't seen in league racing ever, in my opinion. I'm definitely looking forward to it, and I think with how PSGL is really stepping up the gear with the release of the game, it's going to be great, and I can't wait to both drive, and if not drive, watch.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just looking at this grid order, and naturally, you're part of McLaren Shadow. It's a no-brainer. You're going to be part of the team, and without question, they've nurtured your development for quite a long time now. Of course, I've had the ability to commentate on you for quite some time. I mean, are there any main severe dangers that you can immediately see out on track? Any youngsters coming up like you have? I mean, I have to say I highlighted Jake Benham, but I think now we're seeing the largest crop of young talent coming through at this moment in time, including yourself and, of course, Josh Idabu, beginning to really come out and start to show now. Would you agree with that too?
Yeah, I think it's great. I think the average age in the grid is kind of getting lower, but it's great, honestly. I've been in this community for like 3 years now, and I've used to be, the absolutely youngest guy. I was racing when I was 13, but now knowing that there's people in PSGL, for example, younger than me, it's kind of crazy to see. But at the same time, it's great because it's obviously more competition, and I think younger drivers have this something that makes a difference. I don't know how to explain it, but I think there is something within the young generation that makes them super dangerous, as in big rivals for me. But obviously, out of this little younger group, I still want to prove that I am still the best. I mean, I don't know if I were. I didn't want to sound like that, but I'm trying to prove I'm the best. Obviously, we all are. And we'll see how it goes with this season. But yeah, I think it's great to see the younger people coming in and seeing, like, for example, I think Jake was really impressive. I have to agree with you on that. Really good quality. He was very fast in practice as well. So yeah, I mean, it's great to see.
It certainly is, and we're going to look forward to seeing more of it. And looking ahead now to the season ahead, and obviously esports, you said it yourself, you've got a lot, some things to work on in pace. There doesn't seem to be a lot wrong with your strategy usage. I mean, you took Jarno all the way to the finish as well, eventually battling with him towards the end. I mean, looking ahead, that's got to give you a lot of positives. And like you say, you felt that you had a very, very good preseason. So, I mean, naturally now, is the focus now on quali, like you said, or are you going to be just keep doing the things you're doing, or do your priorities change now heading into a new season?
Well, I think I'm still gonna try to improve in every aspect. I can't just say, okay, my race pace is good. I'm just gonna do quali every day. It's not really like that. I'm gonna still practice like I did. I just know that what I need to improve more now. I've definitely seen what I need to improve, but definitely the focus is still overall to be a better driver. As I said, overall. So I will still focus on strategies and all that stuff. Just if you want to compete at this level, you need to be a very complete driver in every single aspect. So just focusing on one thing isn't really good, because then you fall back in everything, in like everything different, everything other. So yeah, it's still a very new game for us as well. So putting in the hours right now is super important, because we are all still learning very much. So we'll see. Yeah, obviously then F1 Esports season is also coming up. So helping the McLaren Shadow guys will be my main priority as well. But yeah, I think the schedule, the plan is the same, to just become more and more complete driver. But I definitely know what I need to improve more.
Well, that's great to hear, Tomek. Always been a big fan of yourself as well, my friend, and I wish you the very best of luck heading into a new season, and of course McLaren Shadow as well. So I hope we'll get to speak to you more often, and maybe in the battle for race wins as well. So congratulations on another decent performance today as well, and we'll see you next time for some more.
Thank you, mate.
Thank you. Cheers, Tomek. Thank you, my friend. So, Maku, that's another race weekend out the way, and I just want to obviously talk to the fans as well. It's been incredible. Certainly, Thursdays never stopped to be, certainly never ceased to impress us. Certainly here at PSGL, it gets better and better all the time, folks. And do you know what? I'm going to say, and certainly out to you guys all at home who pay attention, tune in week after week. I'm delighted to announce that tonight we did hit a great number of you watching tonight. Peak concurrence of 945 people tuned in to watch live tonight, which was absolutely incredible. Total viewership has actually spread over to 9.5 thousand. 9,500 of you tuned in to watch tonight, which is absolutely exceptional. I'd like to thank every single one of you for giving your support to PSGL, and obviously supporting the amazing racing we're having out here on track. We don't work without you guys. You guys are the lifeblood that keeps this wheel turning, and at the same time, we want to keep this going for you guys at home as well. If we can knock out great quality racing with good quality broadcasts, we will ensure to keep you entertained every Thursday and every other day of the week that PSGL is on show without fail. Naturally, now the esports preseason has effectively come to an end. That was the final race in the esports invitationals. The next race we're going to come to is going to be the very first race of the official PSGL season, which will be coming to you mid-August. We're going to look forward to bringing that to you, and I will be joined alongside Jack Canan as well for the very first race of the season. Of course, Maku, it's been a pleasure having you on board as well today. Just give us a few words on what you think, and certainly give us your verdict on what we could expect from PSGL this season.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we've just seen an incredible race. We've broken records the last stream. Something else I gotta mention now is after last week, of course, we had a big jump in subscribers, and now we're actually standing at 2,939. So we're just an inch away from getting the 3K subscribers. So if you're not subscribed yet, we could actually hit 3,000 before we're actually starting the season at all. And I mean, if you're just interested in the racing action with all the big names, basically, then just hit the subscribe button, and you'll be informed when our next stream goes live. But yeah, about the season, I mean, it's going to be absolutely insane. I think you and Jack will have just immense amounts of fun and pain for your vocal cords. And yeah, it'll just be incredible. And I think we can't even predict who is going to be in this title fight in the end, because this game is so much different than the one before. We've seen Lucas Blakely when Jano isn't fully in form. I mean, he gets on the podiums, yeah, he gets up top there, but the other drivers are there as well, and they're all, I mean, Blakely just won 2 in a row. That's a lot more points.
I mean, I sort of look at the new game, when you look at the end of a Formula 1 season and the regulations change, and you get new things have to be brought to the car, and that can change things, can't it, at the top end?
Exactly.
You don't see the same cars winning season after season. Like nowadays, we're seeing Red Bull being quicker than Mercedes in many aspects. But, the same applies in esports. Technical changes are made to the game, and it suits
players differently. It's exactly the same in esports as it is in real racing. Naturally, new stars can rise, new parts get added to the game, or new ideas, new physics, and that can really change things up when it comes down to a title fight. I don't think it's going to be as, well, certainly as distant as it was last season. Of course, we only had Barry and Yano at the very final race last season. I think we're going to be seeing quite a few more heading towards the end of this coming season. It's going to be so close that it might be the closest finale League Racing has ever seen, folks. And I tell you what, I cannot wait to be the one to bring it to you, as well as Jack Kinan, as well as Maku, as well as everybody in PSGL. You guys are in for a real treat. So if you haven't hit that like or the subscribe button, I don't know what you're going to subscribe for. It's going to be a tasty treat here at PSGL every Thursday, of course. Make sure as well, if you haven't done so, to make sure you like the socials. We've got a Twitter account at PremierSimGL, but not only that, you can also find me on Twitter at GeorgeMorganTV. I'm not on my own though. Maku, please share your Twitter handle as well.
I'm at Emmanuelos, and that actually with 3 L's, because the one with 2 was already away. So yeah,
so you got 3 L's. That's not L in the typical fashion you'd expect it, folks. Honestly, it's not like that at all. But yeah, please check out Maku as well, Manuelos on Twitter as well. But folks, what a race it was indeed. Today, it was Lucas Blakely who took it for a second time. 2 poles, 2 wins, 2 starts. What a performance. But we'll look forward to seeing you all for a brand new PSGL season. We'll see you then, folks. Do take care. Goodbye.
Good evening.